Hello and welcome to part 2 of Surds Made Simple. This is adding and subtracting surds. Adding and subtracting surds is probably the easiest part of surds, and I'm just going to take you through it. Now, to add a surd, you must collect the like terms. So whatever is under the root sign does not get added together. So for example, if you had a root b plus c root b, it would be a plus c root b. So you see an example, 4 root 5 plus 2 root 5 is 6 root 5. The number under the root sign does not change. If the numbers under the root signs are the same and cannot be simplified further, you will just add or subtract the terms that are outside of the root sign, and that will be your final answer. So it's the same for subtraction. A root b minus c root b equals a minus c root b. Yeah, so it's quite straightforward. So here are some questions for you to try out. I will wait and give you time to pause the video. 3, 2, 1. Well, there are some maybe more tricky questions that you may need to use knowledge from the previous video from. So if you haven't watched the previous video and don't understand how to simplify surds, I recommend you do that. And here are the solutions. So if you're to do root 5 minus 4 root 5, that would be minus 5 root 5, because that minus root 5 acts as sort of a minus 1. So you know that minus 4 minus 1 is minus 5, and that's how you get to the answer. On the second question, 4 minus 2 root 5. So if you were to get a whole number and subtract it by a surd, that is the simplest form of that number, because when you have whole numbers and surds and they're sort of in this, that they form the same number, it cannot be simplified any further than that. So that is just the answer. 4 minus 2 root 5 equals 4 minus 2 root 5. 5 root 7 minus 3 root 7 is obviously 2 root 7. Moving on to the other side, you have root 6 plus 4 root 6, similar to the first question. You get 5 root 6. 5 root 3 plus 3 root 3. 3 root 3 plus 3 root 3. You get 6 root 3. 6 root 2 plus root 8. This is where it starts to get tricky and you have to use previous knowledge. This is sort of similar to what may come up in one or two more question in an exam. So when you have 6 root 2 and root 8, 6 root 2 plus root 8 is the same as root 4 times 2. So when you have root 4 times 2, that simplifies to 2 root 2 because you square root the 4. And 2 root 2 plus 6 root 2 becomes 8 root 2. Now, the challenge question. You probably don't need any prior knowledge to work this one out. And this one was just relying on knowledge of the square root of 49, which is 7. So once you square root 49, you get 7. And 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. We can leave it as a fractional form if you like. And 7 over 2 plus 2 root 3 is 3.5 plus 2 root 3. Because as we saw in question 2, when you add or subtract the surd to a whole number, the final form of that calculation will just be the whole number and the surd added or subtracted. There is no simpler form of representing that. So I hope today's video was informative, and I'll be back with another video soon.